Welcome to the post show of Winter is Coming, aka AEW Dynamite. Could bring in Drifting Andrew. Let's change his name. There he is. All right, let's. You want to just before we start, tell the people about our page and what goes on and what we're doing for people when we hit 100 subscribers before we jump in.
Sure. First of all, we have a show called Newsstand versus Newsletter, where what we do is we compare and contrast the winners of the Wrestling Observer Newsletter year-end award winners with the Pro Wrestling Illustrated year-end award winners. So we basically see how one wrestling fan base viewed the year compared to another one. And we also give our own little editorials for each one. We also have a show called Abyss to Zinc, where our mission statement is to watch every Tom Zink match we can. Once we finish with Tom Zink, we'll move on to someone else. And we also talk about what else was going on during that day. So if Tom Zink wrestled Bob Bradley on January 13, 1992, we discussed what else was going on in the world of sport, film, music, television that day, along with what we were doing. And we're also doing this, where we review Dynamites and hopefully not, but maybe Monday Night Raw.
So what's the deal with the subscription? That's what I'm trying to get at before we jump in.
Absolutely. Once we hit 100 subscribers, we are going to do a random drawing of all of the first 100 subscribers, and some lucky winner will win a 3-month paid subscription to YouTube Premium. And once you've had YouTube Premium, Scott,
can't go back.
It's impossible.
It is impossible. That's like, I mean, I pay my mortgage, my phone bill, my cable internet, and then it's like YouTube Premium's right on that list, baby, because I don't go back.
You used to be a smoker. You know how it was. You could be as poor as shit, and you'd still find a way to get smokes.
That's like YouTube Premium is my cigarettes now. All right, so let's go into AEW Dynamite. Winter is Coming. We start out with the theme from the old NBC basketball, which is pretty cool. Did you notice that at the first?
I actually missed the very, very start of it. I was just switching over, and it was what's his name? Excalibur welcoming us to
super
to
cool. You heard it later. They played it before the MJF match too. But I like it. I guess I was just reading the Observer, and they said that they bought it, so it's pretty cool. So we start out with the trios match, the best of 7 with Pac and Lucha Brothers up two. I almost said 2 games to 1, but 2 matches to 1 against the Elite. And if you want to jump through the match, Andrew, like kind of break it down a bit, like most people have seen it, but you don't have to go move for move. But I'll say one thing about it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say what I plan to do is just anything that I remember about the match, and then I'll give my rating. And at the conclusion, I think we should have our match of the night, MVP, LVP, and overall rating for the show.
Well, I'll say about. I didn't care for this match, man. It's just so spotty. So fucking spotty. You can see the spots coming my way. There's a couple of cool things. The Nick Jackson ankle thing was kind of cool. They did that, and I like the fact that they didn't win, because that would have really pissed me off. They would have won if he comes back from the injury and wins. But to me, man, I'm not like, no, it's too spotty. It's like you can see it coming. There was a spot where I think it was Nick jumped off of one of the Lucha Brothers' back, and you could see them setting it up like about 10 seconds away. And to me, that's not pro wrestling, man. That's gymnastics.
Well, I was quite nervous because I told you before, I'm lagging really bad, aren't I?
That's all right. Just keep going. Doesn't matter.
Oh, fuck. This is awful. I'm in a wrestling fantasy league, and I traded Jey Uso for Nick Jackson because
that's what I was thinking of you when it happened, because you told me that. Like, shit, he's probably really. It's like a football thing to him right now.
I thought, oh my god, I'm snake bitten. Like, as soon as I get this guy, he gets injured and he's going to be gone for God knows how long. Because I only wanted a roster full. Man. Okay, is this better now? I only wanted a roster full of AEW guys and gals because it's the show I watch. James are getting a lot of points, but what difference if I'm not watching the show?
So yeah, the match was okay. The finish was decent, with the hammer to the ankle. I hope he hit the right ankle. I don't know if he did or not, to be totally honest. But I mean, they're up 3-1. Now they're obviously going to a 7th because they've announced already what they're doing no DQ next week. What's the week after that? Last man standing. The week after that's the ladder match. So match 7 is the ladder match. Match 6 is last man standing. And
Is it last man standing or is it Falls Count Anywhere?
Maybe it's Falls Count Anywhere. That's what I think it is. I'll have to double check that.
It's going to be tough to do a last man standing for a 6-man.
Let me double check here. I'm pretty sure you're right. We'll get to it. So yeah, they had an okay match. I'm just not a fan. I've never been a fan of that kind of match. Like I mean, back in the WCW days, maybe because of the fact that like it was different, it was new. But now it's like, oh god, man, like I can see the spot coming a mile away. But I won't hate the Young Bucks like I used to. They're not bad. But to me, I want to see Omega get out on his own. I don't want him sticking around with 6-man tag matches. Cal's is really good on commentary because Cal's kicks us a lot of ass on commentary. He's great. He's great on commentary. So then we get what's that?
It's gonna be fun when they're in Winnipeg.
Yeah, when they get cheered like crazy. So the Acclaim come to the ring. Not like I don't like Jarrett and them guys. I think Jarrett's like go the fuck away. But not a bad jump. You know, they're doing their rap. You want to get heat, man. That's how you get your heel heat. Just cut them off on their rap. It is what it is. I mean, the Acclaimed are over big. You're obviously going to get a Jarrett Billy Gunn match eventually. I'm assuming that's what they're going with. Or a 6-man with Jarrett and Billy Gunn. But what did you think of this segment?
The Acclaimed are hugely over. And you can use them to get other acts over, like at least be in a segment with an over act. But it's like, why are you wasting the Acclaimed on a Jeff Jarrett project? Because I've been aware of Jeff Jarrett since I was like 8 years old from the Memphis territory, and first saw him in '93 in the World Wrestling Federation, and thought he had the worst gear of all time.
Oh, I've never been a fan. I mean, I think I liked them a little bit in '99 because WWE was so bad with their people. It was with Owen, so I liked them a bit, but that was like just by default because everything else in that company sucked at that time. I know kids, you're Attitude fans, but not to me. Go ahead.
Well, I think he was the guy who stopped a really strong run for the IC title, because prior to Jarrett, you could say that, you know, the champions and the matches that they either won the title or lost the title, they were usually the match.
99. Are we gonna go in? Let's not get into 99. You can't fucking figure who has belts in that year.
Oh, well, no, I'm just saying, like, you could trace it to Jarrett's 95 IC title run as far as that title stopping being like a major title.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it was okay. You know, and I'll tell you one thing, man. I thought of this. That Acclaim t-shirt, if you wore that out and people didn't know what it was, they'd think that's a weird guy wearing that shirt. Scissor me daddy. That's a little bit fucked up. Yeah, it's but whatever. They're over. Next thing we get Tony backstage with Jericho. Appreciate so you know the Jericho fucking crew. I'll say this was like nothing to me, but and I still call him Jack Swagger. I kind of giggle at the hat comment at the end. That made me laugh. You know, he kind of knows his role now. Like, you're not great in the ring. If you can be funny on the mic, you love that hat. That's cool. We're cool with that. I don't know how you feel about that, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, that's all well and good. I really like Daddy Magic when it comes to that crew, and I didn't even notice him there.
I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying hardcore attention to it because I don't really care about them that much, but I figured I'd just bring it up because we're reviewing it.
Yeah, well, Cool Hand Angelo Parker was there, and he's fine and all, but like, to me, Daddy Magic, whenever he's on TV, your eyes just go to him immediately because he's such a star. Jericho still being on TV in 2022 is a sin, and I know we're coming into 2023, and we're going to talk about Jericho later, but I'm over it, Scott. He gets so much TV time, and Miro's sitting on his ass, you know, doing nothing.
Oh, well, I mean, I was kind of worried about Danielson, but then we figured that out later on. It doesn't have to worry about. But anyway, next match, Jungle Boy Jack Perry defeated the Ring of Honor 6-man champion Brian I Don't Do Steroids Cage. Because that man has like fucking muscles in every part of his body. And no one can get them kind of muscles from working at the gym. I don't care what you say. No one can. That man is fucking jacked.
That's so funny that we're both watching a WCW promo.
Yeah, no, I noticed that because I just wanted to. I think it's the same playlist.
Yeah,
I'm using Monsoon Classic. Who are you using?
Oh, this is for wrestling fans.
Okay, no, I love Monsoon Classic. He was the guy I did the pay-per-view reports for a couple shows ago. But back to the match. Good for Jack Perry. I was really worried. Like, are they going to make him job to Brian Cage? Like, this is going to be really bad. Perry's over, man. He's fucking over big. Like, I'm thinking put him in a run with maybe MJF eventually.
Yeah, there's so much stuff you can do with MJF because it's kind of like Heenan back in the day. If your guy's not a good talker, you put him either being managed by Heenan or against Heenan, and Heenan will be able to carry the feud. And these guys are all learning. They're young. They're going to improve. They're not going to get worse. Well, maybe.
So what do you think of this match?
I don't care for Brian Cage.
I don't either. But Perry gets the win. Gets the big,
He gets the win, and I get the philosophy behind somebody has to lose. You can't have everybody winning, so you have to
you can't have Cage beating Perry. That's just crazy.
Oh, obviously. It's just I don't want to have him on my TV. Like I'd rather see somebody that's not him.
So they bring Lee Moriarty, Big Bill in, they beat a Perry up, and all that bullshit. Hook comes in. Now let me say something about Hook, man. You think Perry's big? Hook is fucking huge. I don't know what is with this boy. Like, I like him. I think he's great. But the fans, man, they go fucking bonkers for this guy. What's your opinion of Hook?
I'm glad to see him on TV. He'd been off for quite a few weeks, months even, and maybe just being relegated to Rampage. And it felt like they kind of did to him what they did with Wardlow, where we got you over, so now we can concentrate on somebody else. And realize you have to keep that momentum going. You have to keep them being featured on TV. Like, how many times are we going to see Jay Lethal? How many times are we going to see Chris Jericho? These guys consistently get TV time.
Yeah, I mean, Hook's great. I'm a fan. I mean, I watched like his match when he won the title. They had what title did he win again? Because there's so many fucking titles.
The FTW title.
Yeah, so it's not technically a title, but they love him, man. The fans love him. And the problem with that fan base is they are the smart fans, and I think they all have attention deficit disorder, so they might lose, but they tend to like them. Cool little thing at the end. Obviously, I'm gonna do a tag team with them too against these guys. March 4th, by the way, March 5th is the next pay-per-view. If you've seen it in the show, up in the corner, they had there's a date.
I love how they're not monthly because
great.
You'll burn out monthly.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not paying this shit for monthly. It's expensive.
Yeah, and it makes them special.
Oh yeah, no, they're great. I have no problem with the pay-per-view, but I do have a problem with the streaming. I don't know about you, but I know for me, with Fight Club, the sound goes in and out, man. I don't know about you. Does that do that to you?
No.
Well, we'll have to try for the next one to see what happens. Okay, let's jump into the next thing. We had the Blackpool Combat Club in there. Moxley's being relegated right to Rampage now. Is this the deal? Like, is Moxley strictly the main guy at Rampage now?
I think they're trying to use him to elevate Rampage.
Okay.
Because they know that he consistently gets some of the highest rated segments on Dynamite. So they're hoping that will translate to those people going over. But it's so tough on Friday nights, especially if you're a hardcore wrestling fan and you just watch SmackDown and now you're expected to watch Rampage. Or even if you don't watch WWE and you just want to watch AEW, it's Friday night.
Yeah, no, it's tough. And I don't really do a whole lot of Friday nights, but for me, I just forget that Rampage is on.
Yeah. Because we don't have it on regular TV.
Well, I go through the app, right? Oh, I get it. It's a little tricky. So they do a promo. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, Andrew's gone again, but we'll just keep going. Next match, House of Black defeats the Factory. Job match. Julia Hart spits the mist into the face of I can't pronounce the guy's name, but just a job match. I mean, to get them guys over. They're already over. I think it's just a filler. Anything about that match that you care to talk about?
It's fine for the people that like the lore. I'm just glad whenever it's just relegated to its own universe.
Yeah,
we talked about it before with Undertaker. It always felt like his stuff existed in its own little planet, and
Yeah.
WCW had Glacier stuff. He only really did his own thing. He wasn't mixed involved with the Horsemen or the NWO, and now I'm fine with like the Bray Wyatts and the Malachi Blacks being able to talk for 2 minutes and not really say anything, and be spooky.
So we have an interview backstage with Britt Baker and Rebel. Not bad. I mean, Baker kills it for the women's division, man. I'm not a big fan of the women's division, but she's great.
Yeah. Well, I love Jamie Hayter. I think she's the wrestler of the year.
So they do the whole thing. I forget who comes out again because I wasn't paying. Sheeta comes out. No, Sky Blue interrupts, challenges Rampage, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Britt Baker's awesome. So then the upset of the night, Action Andretti defeats Chris Jericho. Now, I don't like Chris Jericho, but let's give Jericho a little bit of credit here, man. I mean, he puts this kid over, and that crowd is fucking going crazy.
It can't be understated. Great crowd.
Yeah.
And crowds are make or break. Like, I will look at my phone if the crowd's disinterested.
I'm the same way. Once they start freaking out, the phone goes down.
Yeah, because you've got my attention now.
Yeah. What do you think of this match?
It's Jericho. Man,
I know it's Jericho, but you go ahead and tell me your side. I'll go my side.
I get it. He's putting somebody over. It's so great for him to finally put somebody over who's probably not going to see another day outside of dark. He doesn't do a clean job to MJF in his feud with him. He doesn't do a clean job to Claudio. I mean, he taps out to a fucking giant swing.
Tapped out, man. Tapped out.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel when Jericho's on TV, it just feels like I'd rather it be somebody else who I care about watching. And I haven't cared about watching Jericho since 1999.
Listen, I'm not the biggest Jericho fan either, but I'll give him his credit in this match. The crowd was super hot. It wasn't actually in the ring. It wasn't the best match. This kid fucked up a lot in his spots. And I think it might have legitimately been him being hyper. The fact that, the crowd's going crazy for you. I mean, it might be him. That's, I think, happened because he was fucking up a lot of spots. Very blatantly fucking them up. But for the crowd made this match. I mean, when he won, you think this guy's won the world title type of thing. So, it is what it is. Anything you want to add to that before we go to the next thing?
No.
So they do have a thing backstage. They have a Ricky Starks interview earlier. They had to prepare for the match, and I love the MJF laying down on his phone while the guy's rubbing his back. Remember that part?
No.
You don't remember? That's great. He's just on his phone. Just doesn't give a shit. Fucking great heel, man. Did a great heel promo earlier in the night. I mean, he's awesome. So then we get Ruby Soho versus Mellow. So not bad. I don't know.
Not good either.
I was a Ruby Soho fan. What's that?
I said not good either. It was one of my main problems with modern wrestling was really apparent in this match, and that is they can do these complicated sequences, but when it comes to the basics, the strikes or setting up in a believable way and not just put yourself in position for the next thing, or no sense of urgency in the running. Like if I see somebody just sauntering to the turnbuckles, I'm going to lose interest if you're not putting in the work to. It's the fundamentals. It's the little things in between the big spots that make all the world of a difference.
I don't like WWE, but I'll give them, their women's division is much better than AEW's because their women's division is not good. But we get Ruby Soho gets the pin. She wins the match. They do a little bullshit afterwards. Whatever. Backstage, they do a thing with Hangman and Page talking about his concussion. Talks about how he couldn't remember his son's name. Old school.
That was actually quite good. That was pretty good. I actually, it felt like a Mick Foley promo.
Yeah, no, it was good. And it was very old school. They just kind of talk about it, and then, but that's good. That's gonna set that Moxley and Page match, which will be good. I imagine they'll probably throw that on one of the big Dynamites. And then we have the main event. MJF defeated Ricky Starks to defend the AEW World Heavyweight title and the Dynamite and Diamond Ring. It was okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't really. It was all right. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I agree with you. I agree with your assessment. And we've completely forgotten to give star ratings for any of the matches.
Oh, we'll go back and do it. We'll go back and do it.
Okay.
That's what I thought we were going to do. At the end, we give star ratings at the end.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll go back. So basically, just to kind of break this up, MJF plays the heel the whole match. Like old school heel, I like it. Like I like the Abdominal stretch spot. That was really cool. The way
I like the spot where MJF kept grabbing each limb of Ricky Starks as he was reaching for the ropes, and then finally he got it with the other foot. That was innovative. I like that.
And the finish was kind of fine. Kicking the nuts,
Yeah.
It's MJF's a heel, man. He has to do. He's gonna cheat to win. Give him a little honky tonk man special right there, right? So don't mind that at all. It was an okay main event. Nothing like people thought it was. And I didn't think it was gonna be that great, to be honest. I'm not a fan of Ricky Starks. I don't care about him. So to me, it's like it was MJF made it good, but Ricky Starks, you're back to big card, big man. So let's jump. We'll go through our star ratings. The first match of the night, the trios match. What do you give that?
I'm gonna give that 3 1/4.
I'm gonna give it 2. I really didn't like it. Okay. Yeah, it was not good. Tuesday the next match. Jungle Boy, Jack Black, and Brian Cage.
Jack Black?
Sorry. Jack Perry. Not Jack Black. It's late. I've had a long day.
Yeah, I'll give that one 2.
You give it 2?
Yeah.
I'll give it 2 1/4. Perry gets the crowd into it. So where are we at next? House of Black versus Factory.
Half a star.
Yeah, maybe 1. 1 star, maybe, because the crowd was into it. I'll give it 1 star for the crowd. Action Andretti versus Chris Jericho.
I'll give it 2 stars. That's pretty much Jericho's ceiling at this point. I know people are talking about how he's having a renaissance year and it's his best year since the 90s, or depending on how you feel about the Michaels feud. And I just don't see it. Like it feels like I said before, I'd rather be somebody else in that position than Chris Jericho.
Well, I know you have a hate on Jericho. That's fine, but I give it 3.5 because I liked it. Andretti was really good. The crowd was awesome. That was that. Yeah. So we get into Ruby Soho, Tay Mellow match. How do you pronounce her last name? I'm pronouncing this wrong.
Tay Mellow.
Tay Mellow. Yeah. What do you give that? There,
give that half a star.
I'll give it 1. I'll be generous. And the main event, MJF versus Ricky Starks.
Like his idol, Cody Rhodes, I'm going to give that a 3 stars.
Yeah, read my mind. I'm going to give it 3 stars also. It's just there. It's not horrible, but it's just, it's there. It's nothing special. It was okay, but I wouldn't go crazy for it. I do like the Danielson thing at the end. That's great. He plays, man, MJF's a great heel. Like when he's running through the crowd, he is so great as a heel, man. And I know people hear about it all the time, but you just can't take it away from the guy how good he is. He is awesome as a heel. And he made, before this, we all know what happened before the Moxley match. He was coming close to having to turn face, but he got them people to hate him again. So props to MJF. I'm looking forward to the MJF Danielson pay-per-view. Thank God for that, because Danielson was wasted away. Go ahead.
I can say this. I think the only way MJF as a babyface would work is if Punk was still in the company as a heel, because I think Punk is the only guy they had that could compete with MJF on the stick in that environment where they're flipped. Everybody else, like even Mox will get booed against MJF like he did.
He's smart. He's a pro. He knows how to go. He knows how to jump into the heel character. He's not stupid. He gets it.
but he's gonna get it so that MJF is still cheered. Yeah. MJF needs to be the heel. If you want to get MJF being the babyface, then you could do that with Mox if that's your intention. But if you want to keep Mox babyface, you can't have him against MJF because the fans wanted him as champion at that time.
So, but yes, I mean, the good ending with the Danielson thing and him and MJF, he runs. I love them being up in the steps, just looking down at him, holding the belt. I mean, it should be a good feud. It's going to take a long time. We're in December. the pay-per-view isn't until March. So I don't know if you go right with Danielson right till the pay-per-view, or do you actually think about? I still think, we talked about this before. I think you give Kingston a shot.
Here's my feeling about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be great. The problem is you can't just have him show up and get a title shot. If the plan was to have Kingston against MJF in March, right now, not later, you have him on TV getting wins, getting TV time, which is important, just being featured. If we're going by who's prominently showcased, I kind of feel like it'll be this guy against MJF come March, with the thought that after the trios and the Death Triangle win the titles after the best of 7, and I'm feeling like, because Omega's going to take on Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom,
mm-hmm.
and they're probably going to have a rematch at Forbidden Door 2.
Yeah.
If you have Omega as a champion, will that mean more? Or do you have MJF beating Omega? I just think it's more interesting than a Danielson who, while great in the ring, and we love him to death, he doesn't get those wins that are important enough.
Yeah, that's true. Well, to see. Interesting stuff going on. I mean, I like the ending. We actually got Danielson and MJF should be an interesting feud. I don't think that the Elite's going to win the trios titles. I think they're going to keep it on Pac and Lucha Brothers. I don't think it makes any sense to put it on the Elite. And but all MVP and LVP. You wanted that. So you go ahead. What was MVP and LVP? What was the last part you wanted? Match of the night?
Match of the night and overall rating for the show on a scale of 1 to 10.
So
I'm going to say my MVP is Maxwell Jacob Friedman for having the main event and also a promo building up to it, and finally being the focal point of the promotion. And I'm sure that will come back to bite him on the ass when they start getting the ratings for these shows, where he's now the main guy, because
the ratings aren't that great. Say goodbye to that money.
That's the thing. It's a cold time of year for wrestling. December is not like it used to be. It used to be Christmas night and Thanksgiving night were the two main nights for professional wrestling. And now not so much. January kind of turns around with the Rumble and it being a new year, but right now it kind of feels like we're spinning our wheels with these programs until the main programs are revealed.
Mm-hmm. Who's your LVP?
I'm gonna have to give it to Brian Cage for just existing.
Match of the night?
I'm gonna go with the opening 6-man because I know you only gave it a couple stars. I think what they're trying to do is tell that story with Rey Fenix, with whether or not he'll use the hammer or not, and it's building up. It's been building up for next week for the no DQ match, which hopefully will you'll start to mentally separate it from the other ones in the series. Because that's one of the main issues with the series right now, is that can you really remember the differences between match 1 and match 3 and match 2 and match 4?
Well, I like the fact they're putting steps in them, because you're kind of that's a good idea, putting steps in there. And overall rating of the show,
I'm going to give it a 6.2.
A 6.2. Okay.
Yeah.
So my MVP,
if 5 is perfectly average, I would say it was above average, but not an overwhelmingly awe-inspiring episode, which is fine.
I'll give it MVP. Yeah, MJF definitely. LVP Brian Cage. That's my pick too. He's a bag of shit. I'm going with the match of the night, Jericho and Andrade. That's the one I'm going match of the night because the crowd was hot as fuck.
That's fine.
And I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Same thing. It wasn't amazing, but fuck, it's free TV. Well, we can't complain. Who gives a shit? It's free TV. But that's great. So we hit the half-hour mark, so let's end it right there. Let our fans go back. Don't forget, people subscribe, like. Don't forget, 100 subscribers, random draw for that 3-month subscription to YouTube Premium. And if you don't have it, trust me, it's almost like giving you drugs for the first time. You're gonna be looking for more when the 3 months is up. So thank you for watching. Put your comments what you thought of Dynamite, what you think the match tonight was. You put your comment LVP, MVP, and all that good stuff. And we'll look at it. So we'll see you again in another episode. Take care, everybody. Good night.